Hi, today's learning together is being recorded in my living room, looking out into my backyard. I chose to do this for a couple of reasons. First of all, it's rainy and cold outside, and I went for a walk this morning and I was ready to be warm. So it's much nicer right now to be in my living room. The second reason I chose this spot is from this spot, we can look out into my backyard at this tree. This tree has beautiful green leaves in the summer, and then in the fall, the leaves turn to flaming red and orange colors. And when the sun shines on the tree, sometimes it looks like the bush is on fire. The name of this tree is the burning bush. And I thought it would be neat to have that tree in the background because today we are talking about God calling people to lead. So we know from our stories that God called Moses in the burning bush. We know that sometimes God calls people in dreams, like the boy Samuel. We know that sometimes God calls people through other people, like Jesus calling the disciples by the lake shore to drop their nets and follow him so that they could help Jesus lead people and show people the way to live as God dreamed. We would all live together in a place of justice and peace. Now, for the next little while, we are going to be learning about the prophet Isaiah. Prophets are people that come so close to God, and God comes so close to them that they know what God wants them to say. And Isaiah was one of these important prophets. Well, we know that God calls adults. A lot of the people that God calls are adults. We know that God called Samuel, who was just a boy, but God saw that he had within him the gifts to lead. And sometimes we forget that God is still calling people to be prophets, to be leaders, to be courageous, to be creative, to be kind. And God doesn't just call adults. I have some pictures here. This picture you will probably recognize as Malala. Malala was very young when she was called to lead, to be courageous in the face of people who were violently telling her that she could not get the education that she wanted. And she was very brave, and she was very brave with a heart of kindness. Malala was very young when she had to take on this role of leadership. And she has been someone that has inspired people to make changes in the world that desperately needed to be changed. You will probably recognize this face too. This is Greta Thunberg. And Greta is a prophet. Greta is calling out to all of us, sounding the alarm, helping us to take seriously the challenges the world is facing as we take too much and harm our earth and our environment and our atmosphere. Who would think that someone this little could be such an amazing leader. But Greta has been courageous, and she has used her voice and her courage and her wisdom to challenge leaders and adults to make changes so that we have a world that's fit for everyone to live in. Now, these two people have been called to do enormous things. And sometimes God calls people to do enormous things. But I think lots of times we are called to do little things that might have a big impact, but maybe they'll just have a small impact. But each little thing that we do, when God comes close to us and we come close to God, each little thing that God helps us to know is the right thing to do is an opportunity for us to lead. So I have one more picture because I think we have people that are being called to lead in our congregation all the time. And sometimes they're grown-ups, but sometimes they're children or youth. This is a photo from our confirmation celebration from the June of 2019. And these are the youth that were confirmed to become full members of our church. Each one of them in some way came close to God. And as a result, they made the decision to become part of our congregation and to answer God's call to offer what they have inside them to lead. When God called out for someone to speak to the people in the time of Isaiah, God wondered if there was anyone. And Isaiah responded, "Here I am, I will go." I wonder if you have ever heard or felt God nudging or stirring or calling to you to lead in a big or small way. I wonder how you responded. I wonder how it feels when we say, "I am here, I will go."